and welcome to Shell Point Today for Monday, October the 17th. I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us today. On the show, we will receive a visit from Professor Adrian Kerr as he discusses famous trees from history. And we'll take you back to the club at Shell Point for the ribbon cutting and open house event that took place last week. But first, a couple of academy classes coming up tomorrow that we would like to remind you of. If you've ever thought about writing your memoirs but have never gotten around to it, then there's an academy class just for you to help you get started. Everyone has a story to tell, and as we listen to others read, we get ideas for our own writing. Sign up for this enlightening and helpful class, Writing Your Memoirs, that takes place on 5 Tuesdays beginning tomorrow in the Buttonwood Room of the Woodlands. Come and learn about the most common and easily recognized birds in the Academy class, the ABCs of Birds. If you've ever taken a look outside your window in the morning or during a late afternoon stroll, you look up and wonder, what are those birds called? Then you'll be able to satisfy your curiosity in this Academy class. Sign up for the ABCs of Birds happening in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands at 10 a.m. And tomorrow is also the time for the Assisted Living Tea and Tour at the Arbor. RSVP is required for attending to learn all about transitioning through the continuum of care at Shell Point. We want to make this as seamless as possible and trouble-free. And that all begins with seeing and learning all about the assisted living with the Tea and Tours. 9 a.m. tomorrow is the starting time, and you can call 454-2077 to confirm your attendance. It's time to talk about trees, and it's not even Arbor Day. Did you know that the oldest surviving trees date back to 9,000 years ago? Wow! Many have a wonderful story to tell, and some are even famous as they have intermingled with notable figures throughout history. Well, I won't leave you in the shade on this any longer. Let's see what insight Professor Adrian Kerr can provide about his class tomorrow on the world's most famous trees from history. He's really going out on a limb on this one.
Hi, I'm Teri Kollath. I'm here today with Professor Adrian Kerr. We are pleased to have him back again, and this time his historical focus is the world's most famous trees from history. Adrian, you really owe us an explanation about this. We are usually hearing about ancient Syrians and Assyrians, and tell us about trees. What is the relationship between humans and trees that makes this historically interesting to us?
Very good question, and not an obvious subject for a talk, you might think. However, if you think about the things that humans needed when they were starting their civilization, they needed wood for building houses, they need wood to cook their food, they need wood to build boats. The Egyptians had boats which took people across from the living side to the dead side. So we have been linked to wood ever since we were walking around hunting deer. We needed campsites and we needed to build tents and so on. So wood and humans go hand in hand. There's a long, long, long history. But to bring it to a fine point, when I was preparing my various talks over the last 10 years, I would stumble across, if you like, historical important wood. In other words, important trees. Things that there were historical events which occurred in trees, under trees, beside trees, in forests, and it began to form a pattern. And I've now got a series of historical trees which you will recognize immediately if I talk about them, which if you to look at them independently, they're just part of a historical story, but you can put together now a series of trees through history, from the oldest to the most recent, which have actually observed very important historical events. And the purpose of this talk is to just highlight some of these trees that we knew in the back of our minds, but then you start to realize that trees have watched us develop.
Another wonderful aspect of your mind, the mind of Professor Adrian Kerr, and to pull this together for us so that we too can realize the patterns. What we're talking about, it looks like celebrity status with trees that have intermingled with notable figures throughout history and inspired people.
I'll give you two examples, old and modern.
Okay.
The Buddha, the story of the Buddha is that he needed to sought out in his own mind whether his Enlightenment theories were worthy of spreading to the rest of humanity. And he sat under a peepal tree, a fig tree, in Bodh Gaya in India, and he sat there for a number of days, a number of nights, until he suddenly realized that humanity would be better off if he spread the word of his theories of enlightenment. And that tree is alive and well today, and it's probably 500 BC that he sat underneath it. And if you go to Bodh Gaya in northern India, where a lot of pilgrims go, Buddhist pilgrims, they will be introduced to the very tree that Buddha sat under. Now, you and I know that, of course, that tree has come and gone, but cuttings from that tree have been used to replant, and so the tree that you see today is effectively 2,500 years old in some respects.
Sure.
And sapping and cuttings have been taken all around the world, and you can go to Buddhist sites throughout the world, particularly Southeast Asia, and they will proudly say this peepal tree was the one that Buddha actually seeded. So there's an old example of how important that is. Zarathustra, another religious figure, sat underneath a cypressa tree and did a similar, started teaching underneath a tree. But then if you come forward into modern times, we have kings of England who hid in trees to get away from the parliamentarians who are hunting him down. So, and that's some recent history. And of course, one which is closer to home is George Washington, who cut down his father's tree, and he owned up and showed what a man he was, and that's in our history. And that tree is, that location of that tree is visited today. So that's just a few examples of trees which have had very important connections to humans as we develop through history.
Brings to mind the giving tree.
Indeed. And we use trees to this day for a number of purposes.
Absolutely.
We plant certain trees in cemeteries. There are certain trees, and that goes back thousands of years. These trees that live in cemeteries all around the world have been not a recent thing. They've been around for thousands of years, where we associate certain trees with certain phases of our lives.
Can't wait to hear more.
It's an interesting story.
It is an interesting story. Thank you. So we hope you join us. World's Most Famous Trees from History, Tuesday, October 18th, with Professor Adrian Kerr.
Last week, it finally happened, the completion of the new clubhouse here at Shell Point, which is called the Club at Shell Point. There was an exciting ribbon-cutting ceremony followed by the walk-through tour of the facilities that residents had the opportunity to experience. Shell Point TV was there to capture the event and to find out more about the amenities the club provides.
Father, we take this building and we dedicate it to your use and for your glory. And help us, O God, as a people, never to forget the giver as we so are occupied with the gifts.
Well, it's an exciting day today. We're here at the grand opening of the club at Shell Point, and in the club is a new salon and spa, the Sea Grapes, is that right? And from looking at the place, it's just gorgeous. Looks like you can come here and have quite a different experience.
Yes, yeah. Our focus here is to give premium services with luxury products in a very tranquil environment. So I think the space has truly achieved that. We also do massage here. and facial.
I saw the massage rooms. They're quite comfortable.
Very comfortable. Our massage tables have extra padding. We have a full 6 inches of padding on our massage tables, so you can truly just sink into them and relax. We have 3 massage therapists here. We have Lynn, Jennifer, and Suzanne. Suzanne has been with us for a while now on the Island Salon, and she's transferred out here, and she'll still be doing home visits. And then Lynn and Jennifer are new with us, and they're excellent.
Well, that's great. We look forward to meeting them in the future. And I know you love your products, Robin. When you're on, you have all these products, and I know you're going to have a lot more exciting things to come.
It makes such a difference. It's just remarkable when you use better products, how much better the hair can really turn out.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing about your products and your new services and all the things you'll be talking about in the future on Shell Point TV. And it's going to be exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. Thank you.
Well, another part of the club here at Shell Point is the fitness center, and we have Resort Services and Wellness Manager Michelle Tompkins here. Michelle, this looks like some nice, shiny new equipment, and it smells like it too.
I know, it almost smells like a new car, doesn't it? No, brand new equipment. We have Precor brand equipment, weight equipment, and many cardio machines with the TVs built in, so we have that cable TV function as well. Everything is brand spanking new. We have weights and medicine balls. Just wait till you go into the group fitness studio as well.
That's awesome. So are there going to be classes over there too?
We have something here at the club called Fitness on Demand. Shortly it will be hooked up, and what that is, it's going to be a computer system that a member could go in and type whatever class they want, maybe Pilates or maybe something more high intense, boot camp maybe. And a screen will come down, a big screen TV, and there'll be a virtual instructor on there.
Wow.
So it's really state of the art, something that a lot of the clubs in the area and the gyms are doing right now. So we'll see how well that goes over.
That's awesome. Fitness on demand.
That's what it is.
Martha Bonham, what do you think of the new club at Shell Point?
Oh, it's lovely. Lovely. Very, very nice.
So are you thinking you might come back for something?
I think I might come back for lunch.
Be awesome upstairs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm on my way upstairs. I want to find out what they have on the menu.
So the clubhouse dining manager is Carrie Matine. She's here with us. Welcome aboard Shell Point.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
So tell us about this new facility and what's happening.
Well, today we're having our grand opening tour for all of the residents here at Shell Point. Basically what we're doing today is just showing them around, explaining what we have going on, what we're going to be having going on, and when they can expect to come in and join us.
Now, I see this is a massive room, and it looks like it can also be divided into sections.
Absolutely.
So it's more than just for dining.
It's more than just for dining. We have banquet rooms down on the other side of the dining. We do have air walls that we can pull closed, so we can have parties going on as well as a la carte dining at the same time.
Great. So parties, dining, I'm sure there'll be some events, maybe some classes and
We've
stuff.
already got plenty of things lined up.
Well, that sounds exciting. I look forward to hearing about them and reporting them in the future. Now, the food, that's what would interest me the most, and it looks awesome. Just the setup here. You got
Beautiful kitchen. Chef Richard Brown is our executive chef, and his food is absolutely phenomenal. I've worked with him before at another club, so I know exactly what his food is like, and I think it's going to blow the residents away.
Well, it sounds like you guys are seasoned professionals, and the food's going to be really seasoned and tasty too.
It's going to be very tasty. We
All right.
look forward to showing everybody what we can do.
Richard Brown is our executive chef. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
It is massive. Looks like you can store a lot of good food here.
Yeah, if you look around, there's all different types of equipment here to handle the needs of our banquet facility here, along with the Banyan Grill.
You guys have the latest technology in cooking here. This is amazing.
Yeah, it truly is. It's first rate. Shell Point does it the right way. There's no question about it.
I am astounded. I've been to places where people live, but it's not, they're seniors, but it's not assisted living. This is the best I've ever seen.
Wow, well, that's quite a statement.
Yes.
Coming from you, I know that you've seen a lot of places around the world, and this looks like when I walk in here, I want to order a big juicy steak.
I'd even settle for a slice of pizza.
That would be great too. I see they have a pizza oven.
Yes, I heard about it.
Neil and Carol Clark are here. You're taking a tour of this beautiful new facility. What do you think?
It's almost breathtaking. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's quite a view when you look out right here.
Yeah. It's beautiful, and thinking of the sun going down out there will just be spectacular.
Well, Bobby Brown, you've been known for checking out some beautiful places around Shell Point, and none quite like this one today. What do you think?
This is the ultimate amazing space. It truly is. It's gorgeous. Thank you.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections. But first, a Listening to the Words preview from David Hallenstein.
This week on Listening to the Words, you are invited to enjoy several authors whose words have not appeared on this program for a while. That includes an essay from Garrison Keillor called Make the Most of Your Brief Time on Earth. Then poet and playwright Carmine Lombardo speaks of the heroes in our streets. Then hear Gordon Cameron's poem, Why Love? You'll get a laugh out of Shell Pointer Jim Hardy's personal story about a reaction to stinging bees that left mother speechless. Then to the North Woods of Wisconsin, where a family of 10 was forever changed by the arrival of a lady named Mary. Then you will certainly appreciate the insight of a poet who writes inspiringly about marriage. And you will chuckle charmingly as I read Jeannie Ezel's story, Midlife Crisis. David Hallenstein reminding you that you can hear my 30-minute radio-like program on Shell Point Channel 12 twice each hour, every day and night this week, except for 3 times during Tuesday and Thursday, when you could listen to rebroadcasts of Village Church services. As always, thank you for listening to the words on Channel 12.
Hello and welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley.
And I'm Dora Robbins.
And we're going to go over the activities offered for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start at 8 o'clock with the men's round robin tennis going on down at the Woodlands tennis courts. Also at 8 o'clock we have pickleball. That's at the game courts behind the Resident Activity Center. Beach day trip leaves at 8:30 on the island, 8:40 for the Woodlands, and 8:50 for Eagles Preserve. Virtual bowling will be in the Resident Activity Center at 8:45. And at 9:15, billiards begins at the Resident Activity Center. The Lollygaggers Paddlers group will be leaving from the kayak storage facility at 9:15. And then our final 9:15 activity is pottery with instruction available down in the pottery studio in the tunnel. Men's match play tennis will be at 10 o'clock down at the Woodlands. Also at 10 o'clock, the Suzy Q will head to Matanzas on the Bay. Sign up is required for those trips. The Disciple Men's Bible Study group will be in the game room of the Woodlands at 10:30. And at 10:45, we have table tennis playing clinic in the Tarpon room on the island. Our final morning activity is 11:30. We have a Health Connections class, agility, balance, and flexibility. And that'll be in the health club on the island. Dora, what do we have this afternoon?
We're going to start off at 12 o'clock with Mahjong. That's at the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 12:45, we have Zumba Gold Fitness, and that's at the Health Club on the island. Sign up is required. At 1 o'clock, we have Operation Christmas Child Boxing Party, and that's going to be at the Village Church. At 1:15, we have Samba Card Game, and that's at the Resident Activity Center at the island. At 1:15, we have Tone Chimes. Model Train Room is open from 1:30 to 3:30. At 1:45, we have Balance, Stability, and Strength, and that's the Health Club. At 2 o'clock, we have the Beady-Eyed Bead Club. That's at the Oak Room in the Woodlands. At 3 o'clock, we have Pilates Bar Fusion, at the Health Club on the island. At 3:15, we have Shell Point Singer Rehearsal. That's in the choir room. Beginners Martial Art at 3:45 at the Health Club. Sign up is required. And at 5 o'clock, we have Singles Table at the Crystal Dining Room. 6:30, we have Duplicate Bridge at the Game Room at the Woodlands. And 6:45, it's movie night, God's Not Dead 2. That's a 2016 movie, and that's the Social Center. And that concludes our activities for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Teri Kollath with your Academy information for Monday, October 17th. At 9 o'clock, our Writers' Workshop continues in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. At 10:15, we have an iPad apps class continuing in the Vanity Room at the Island. At 10:30, we have Anatomy of Words in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and they welcome anyone. At 1:15, the Interwar Years, 1918 to 1939, Session 2, will begin in the Social Center on the Island for those who have signed up. I'd like to tell you what's coming up in the Academy tomorrow. We have Writing Your Memoirs with Marty Gibson and Lucille Peterson, two Lakewood ladies. We have the ABCs of Birds with Christy Anders, our Education Director for the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation. And Bruce Findlay of Sundial will be teaching us about the iPhone. This class will be set up in basics. Professor Adrian Kerr will change his focus a little bit, and he will talk about the world's most famous trees from history. You can sign up right at the door.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is country fried steak with mashed potatoes and peas and carrots. For dinner, the special is Old Home Cooking Night for $13.95. The soup of the day is beef noodle. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a chicken parmesan sandwich with a side tossed salad for $7.95. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to the Village Church Connections. My name is Don Pullen. We have a special event coming up later on this month that we'd like to talk about this morning and hopefully encourage you to consider attending. With me today is John Schulke. He's our librarian, one of our librarians at our church library, and the library is sponsoring this movie. Hey, John.
Hello.
How you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, we're wanting to get some people in again. We've had good representation in the past. This is going to be another movie in the Social Center on the 17th.
Monday, October 17th.
October 17th at 6:45.
Okay. What's the movie?
It's a good one. You'll remember we have previously had a movie on God's Not Dead.
Right.
Well, this is a follow-up. Many of the same characters that were represented in the previous movie.
And the original movie was one that was very well received, right? I mean, a lot of people went to it.
Oh, yeah. And it took place on a college campus. And it was a young Christian student pitted against a college professor, an atheist professor, with the question, is God dead? Well, this follow-up is not at a college campus anymore. It's now at a high school.
A high school campus.
Yes, and it's a teacher, her name is Grace, who is teaching applied history, and a student questions her about what are the differences in the teachings of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesus. Seems like a legitimate question for a history class.
Sure would be.
She answers, and in part, quotes scripture. Seemed all right to me. If you want to know what happened or what Jesus taught, you'd talk about scripture.
But I can only imagine in a high school setting, something happened.
Well, it was the parents. The parents got wind of it. They didn't like it at all. They went straight to the administration. The administration went back to Grace and asked her to apologize for what she said. And she says, well, I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not going to apologize. Well, there's where the story begins.
So that's the storyline of the whole movie. It unfolds from there.
And it's more than just that. I mean, there's a lot of other side issues that come in with it, of course.
Right, as any good movie does. And you said many of the characters from the first movie are in the second movie as well.
Yes, you recognize them if you saw the first movie.
Wow, that sounds great. And is there a charge? Do we have to sell tickets or something to come to this movie?
No. And as a matter of fact, we're going to serve drinks, soft drinks, and popcorn. Come early, get a good seat, enjoy the refreshments, meet your neighbors, and enjoy a good movie.
Great. And that's Monday, October 17th, 6:45, the Social Room.
That's it.
On the island.
Social Center.
Social Center on the island.
Yes.
Great, 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 great. Well, that might be something that you want to consider. Put that on your calendar. Come out and enjoy a great movie, great time of fellowship, some popcorn and some soda. Just a wonderful opportunity to be challenged, maybe a little bit with your faith and what goes on in the movie, and to spend time with some other residents of Shell Point.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. Be sure to return tomorrow when Jeff and Melody of the Legacy Foundation will tell us all about Stocktoberfest. We will meet a new addition to the medical team, podiatrist Richard Calhoun, and Bev Chanley visits with Jeannie Veldman of Icings Travel to talk about some upcoming trips. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Monday, October the 17th. I'm Rich Nation, and on behalf of everyone here at Shell Point TV, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.